through the mail or in person. I have gone to the office in El Centro on Main Street. It's always closed. I met the person that works in the union office passing out a flyer where I dropped my timesheet. The flyer was in Spanish. I told her I wanted one in English. She didn't have them in English. I have asked her questions, and she could not answer them. I left her my name, and she's never returned my call. So I guess, this could be a specific, but it could be indicative of a general situation. So could you talk about both that and the general situation? How would you deal with the general situation like this?
Jana makes a good point. We do not represent members in Imperial County, but as was on the other card, I'm sure there are issues in every county where members don't feel like they're getting the service they feel they're paying for. Again, you have to influence the process. You have to make it known. Become active in your membership meetings. Raise these issues. Continue to raise them. If you feel like that the person you're raising it to is not finding a remedy to the problem, continue to keep raising the issues over and over again. Collectively, within your organization, get people who may have the same concerns that you do. So it's not just seen as one person out of thousands that have this interest. You kind of seem like the squeaky wheel. That's not really a problem, but you just don't really like the union. So what I would say is I believe these are atypical situations. At least I would hope so. Again, I don't work in the field department, but I believe these are atypical situations. And I would just always kind of close it with, we're human beings. We're trying to do the best that we can do to provide services for you all. But at the same time, as dues-paying members, you have a right to get the best quality services that you deserve.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I would say, we are an organization, just like every organization. We have good staff and not so good staff. We have room for improvement everywhere, and we strive to improve. And so, I will take this and see what we can find out about this particular situation. But again, as Jovan said, it is also the right and responsibility of our members to get involved and to continue to raise these issues. And our goal is that there are member leaders in every one of our counties and precincts and state representative districts who can answer questions. It's not about union staff being able to answer questions for, hundreds of thousands of members. It's about member leaders being engaged and knowing what's going on so they can answer those questions. That's our goal.
Good. I'm going to do one last question, and then maybe we can talk a little bit about how to format this, whether or not this was a helpful format and whether or not we want to do this again next year. In the contract process, how do you get the list of workers? What are the components of the contract? And will this change when SEIU becomes a statewide local?
So the answer to the last question is no. Our contracts, just like the UDW contracts, are with individual counties because that's how IHSS is structured in California. So can I look at it? There was a couple pieces. So how do we get the list of members? All of our unions get the list every month from the state of the IHSS members we represent. So that's how we get that list. And the components of the contract are, the wages, the benefits, and then, we talk about the registry in some contracts. In some contracts, there's transportation discussions. So depending on, what is the need or the priorities in that county, the contracts vary. But I think maybe the question is really about what is our process. So our process is we have bargaining committees that are elected from our members. We meet. We do a survey of our members to find out priorities. Then we, go to the Board of Supervisors, meet with them to see what's possible, and, go through a process of bargaining with the public authority. We do, try to keep members engaged in the process in terms of newsletters. And I think many of you have been asked to do advocacy with your Board of Supervisors during contract campaigns because it really is the boards of supervisors that are making those decisions.
Okay. I think that also answers this last question, which is whether or not, given that the union doesn't receive medical care, people that pay into the union and don't get or receive medical care, can we give them a 401k plan? I mean, that whole discussion about benefits.
Right. I mean, the union doesn't give or not give a 401k plan. It's about bargaining. And so, right now, I don't know if there's folks here from Contra Costa County. Contra Costa County does have a pension plan for its members. The county is trying to cut that. So it really is about organizing an advocacy and saying, how do we expand benefits and what are the priorities. We have, lots of places where we have waiting lists on health insurance. We need to expand those. And so it depends on the priority of the members in that county to see what we prioritize in bargaining.
Okay, so I'm seeing the pink card. I wanted to I want to tell you a little bit. The reason, or where we came up with the idea for this session was actually in Southern California. We did a regional SECA meeting, and we had a conversation like this with, again, both SEIU and UDW. There were people there from the unions, and it was really, really very helpful. People got to ask the questions, presumably that they were really concerned about, and it was a much smaller group, but I think the exchange was equally valuable. So I wonder if this was helpful for people, if this was useful, and should we change the format in any way? I think. My goal of actually having a conversation with people from the unions to talk about some of the issues that, we generally talk about, sort of the legislative issues or the ways we can work together on the IHSS coalition and some of these underlying issues never get talked about except, in the parking lot conversations after the meeting. So I wonder if this was helpful to people. Just for a second, can I have anybody say anything? Yes. I also wanted to give Rebecca and Jovan just an opportunity to say final comments, or how did you appreciate the format and so on.
We appreciated being here, and we certainly appreciate feedback and questions, and certainly people should not wait for this once-a-year opportunity to engage with us. We are in every county, and we want to continue to have an open dialogue. And I think we take a lot of pride in our role in the coalition and working with this coalition. Our goals are the same, and so sometimes our process isn't what you would want. Sometimes your process isn't what we would want. We have the same end goal, and we look forward to continuing both the dialogue, and the partnership.
Yeah, I would have to say I agree. There's going to be concerns with what each other are doing. But I think at the end of the day, we have to have trust amongst each other. And the only way you're going to have that is getting to know one another. We have to trust that what we're doing within our unions is for the same common goal that you all have that are sitting out there. What I would like to leave with, since I really didn't have a lot of time in the previous panel, please begin to educate yourself. I don't know if you all have seen our legislative and budget report card from last year. It's available on the UDW website. It's www.udwa.org. Take a look at that report card. Look at how your legislator voted. When these individuals have town halls in your districts, if you all have meetings and you invite them to come speak, question them on why they voted the way they did, but not only question them on why they voted, but put that expectation on them that you do not expect them to vote that way again. Because when you look at that document, there's going to be some very low percentages from a lot of people that you all are calling friends right now. So take a look at that. The other thing I would also say is if you invite legislators to come speak on your behalf, make sure they are legislators who voted the right way. All this is about accountability, and you can do accountability can be expressed in various ways. So please take a look at our report card and all the actions that you have this year. Make sure your actions have a strategy behind them. Make sure pictures are taken with people. There's a strategy for why you're doing that. So please begin to think more strategically. We want to work with you. Let's continue to have an open dialogue.